What's up with it? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's been a cool minute. I ain't really got onto these videos lately, but here, what you see here is these some notes I took down for an apprenticeship position with the Carpenters Union. Where I'm at, and the situation was I got into the union and I went in just straight as a journeyman, experienced carpenter, and a lot of the time, a lot of the times, what's happening now is that there's a law that's already been passed that requires companies that work with schools to hire 80% of their workers that come from the apprenticeship program. So a lot of the companies ask me if I gone through the apprenticeship. Well, I don't know what to say at that point, but I just say yeah. Just kind of just bullshit my way in there. But I mean, that really doesn't matter. What does matter is what I'm gonna do what am I gonna do now? And I came up with this information because the company that I was with last time suggested that I I look into getting into and being a part of the apprenticeship, which I wouldn't have to start from zero, but they would test me to find out, see where my experience level is at, and then place me somewhere in between, so I wouldn't start at zero. But yeah, you know, I took that into consideration after the fact that finished that school from last year and got laid off. So for the holiday seasons in the winter and whatnot, I was just chilling and so forth. But I put some thought into what they had told me about, the law and having to hire 80% of individuals in my circumstances, in my situation, being that every time I finish a school, you know, my mostly only option is to get laid off, or they can just transfer me over to a different school that they're getting started to work on and things. But normally that's not the case. So I took that into consideration whether I can just jump back, take a pay cut, get into the apprenticeship, and then just flow with that. Because the company that I was with last year, they will sponsor me, which you need a sponsor to get into an apprenticeship program. You need a company that will vouch for you and they will get you through the apprenticeship. They'll keep you working, keep you busy, and all at the same time, they got to feel confident that you're gonna perform for them and you're gonna work just well, above expectations. So I got the company that they'll vouch for me, they'll sponsor me, and all I got to do is call these people, and get placed, find out, see, what's up with that placement and whatnot, and so forth. But all at the same time, it's whether I want to take my options between staying at a journeyman level, risking I get laid off, here and there, every now and then or whatnot. But I'll always be back at work and things like that. But it'll benefit me so much more if I just get into this apprentice program, which I'm sort of kind of like convincing myself at this point. It's kind of just making sense out of my own thoughts and things and whatnot. But and and well, it's just it's a decision that I need to make and whatnot. And so far, decision that I've made was, what, I'll ride this thing out. No matter what, I'm always gonna be financially secure because every time I get laid off, my performance is good. My work is good. My work ethics. I work really good with people, and yeah. So with that, right now. I've decided, just to stick with what I got. And, when I get laid off, I just go on unemployment and just figure my situation from there. It buys me time anyhow, you know, get to figure things out. So, I'm comfortable with where it's at, which that could be a problem as well, can't get comfortable, you know, and but I'll take that into consideration as well. And but besides that, you know, where I'm at is that I got a list of names of the people who I'm connected with. Like Mike was my last foreman. I got a solid connection with him. Dustin is the superintendent. I got a really solid connection with him. He's the one who, recommended that I actually, or suggested that I actually get into the apprenticeship program so that company would keep me with them, running with them, and every all the time throughout the entire year, I'd be guaranteed to stay working. And so that would be the case there. And then eventually, I'll work my way back to my journeyman level, and and everything be all good and dandy and things. So, and but yeah, he suggested that, and he gave me contact information from Melissa, and she's the coordinator for the union. And speaking to her, talking to her, asking her about my situation, seeing what she can help me with, and let her know that I got the company that'll sponsor me. Just give her the name, Dustin, and so forth. With that, I guess they were saying is I'm golden. And it's hard to come by an opportunity when it has to do with an apprenticeship. I've worked carpentry for 6 years, and yeah, nobody along the way was trying to inform me or give me, like a tip to let me know, like, hey, have you tried looking into the union? I got a connection here or there or whatsoever. But yeah, so I got the connection. Maybe I should take it. You know, maybe I should seriously take that seriously into consideration because I gotta think furthermore into the future. What's in my best interest. Doing this journeyman thing where I'm at now and having to work for a company for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, and then work slows down and I get laid off. It's all good and things, but it's just more comfortable. It's just more securing being able to secure and have full-time employment year in year out. But then also at the same time, I put into consideration that the company that wants to hire me on and whatnot as an apprentice, um, mostly and most of the time I would have to commute at least an hour and a half. Like, yeah, so I just put that into perspective, and I just think about it like, what, I could be all right with what I got, but do I want to drive an hour and a half if I stick with this company? Every time we finish the school, they'll send me to the way the other side of, the opposite direction, another hour and a half the other way, or another hour and a half the other way from there. But so yeah, I just keep that in mind and whatnot. But Melissa, she's the union coordinator. Mike Johnson is actually the apprenticeship coordinator for the company. So I got his information to reach out, So that's a really good connection because I have another brother who's actually just got into carpentry and whatnot. So he's building up his experience. He needs to build a portfolio. Be able to present himself. When the opportunity comes up, and I actually, send it his way and be like, look, bro, call this guy, tell him this and that, and this is what and so forth, and see if he can get you in. with this apprenticeship and sponsor you and whatnot. But on this side over here, you can see, I got the name Art, and then I got the numbers for the apprenticeship for the unions, the local unions. This is in somewhere in Martinez or something like that, or Hayward. But then this one's over in Fairfield. So, they also mentioned, hey, I called the union or whatever. They were like, oh, these are the numbers you want to call, talk to them. And so I haven't taken the time. It's been maybe 2 weeks. Just been on my board the entire time because I didn't want to just erase it. Even though I know I took a picture of this, and that way I don't lose this information. And but it's been 2 weeks. I haven't gotten around to it. I'm not looking to make a drastic change in my situation. Me getting paid what I get paid is good and well enough for me to get through all at the same time. But all in all, financially secure. And but anyhow, for my folks, any suggestions, any guidance on what you probably want to do when it has to do with getting into the union with an apprenticeship program, I can probably give you some guidelines and probably give you some, something to aim for, something to shoot for, figure something out and whatnot. But yeah, this is my description of what I've actually came to come up with through my hard and earned work. So, if there's anything I can assist with, I'd be glad to. So besides that, that's what I have now.